Hey guys, hello and welcome to a new edition of Behind the Scenes of Inspired Eye. This is issue 45. I'm joined with Don and I am Oliver. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing fine. Things are okay here in Philadelphia. Probably better here than in a lot of other places right now, but things are cool. This issue is excellent. I think we got absolutely excellent coverage on this. A lot of people have sent me emails and stuff. They really liked the issue a lot and what was in it. Of course, it's the content, but I'm pretty happy with it. I'm happy with all of them, but this one especially.
Yeah, it's a marathon. So, sometimes there's some issues. I'm like, man, this issue is amazing. All of them, we have a baseline of, it's good. Everybody likes it. But some issues are, stand out from each other, not only in terms of, like you said, the content, but also the mix of people that we have there. So let's talk about this cover. I think were you going to say something?
Well, yeah, I did want to actually say something. Okay. And what I wanted to say was that the magazine is excellent, and the people that are in it are excellent. But that should not deter anybody. Now, that should not deter anybody from saying, "Hey, I'd like to be in the magazine. I want to be in." Because if you look, we try to cater to everybody, the community. We are not like a lot of other magazines out there, or workshop people, or so-called lecturers or teachers. What we're trying to do is to help the people who have just gotten started. Maybe not just started, but they're into it. They're actually just getting into it. Maybe they're kind of shy and they're kind of lost, but they're in the magazine along with people who have won awards already and everything in between. And the reason that happens is because it's not about your stature and who you are and your knowledge of what you're doing. It's about your heart. So when I personally, I'll speak for me. I'm speaking for Oliver too, but when we choose someone to come in the magazine, the most important thing is the heart of that person. And so whoever it is, no matter what level you're at, you have a chance to get in here. It's not like this is like, oh boy, I'm in the Inspired Eye, but it is something. It really is something. It's something because we're not alienating the people. And there's a lot of magazines a lot of magazines actually all over the place, all over the world, that are intimidating to the people who subscribe to the magazine because they feel that they're never going to have a chance to get in there. And that's not true with the Inspired Eye. The Inspired Eye is if you got the eye and you got the heart and you got the mind, if I don't call you or Oliver don't call you, you call us and we'll work something out.
Yeah. So, because, we don't have eyes everywhere. So, and, if that's one thing, man, there was this, I guess, motivational story I know. So basically, the guy was somebody that was hiring and, it all came down to these last two people. Okay. And they called the first choice, and the first choice, they said, "I'm sorry, you didn't have the job." And it's like, "Oh, really? Okay. Well, okay then. Thank you. Bye." And they called their second choice and then say, "Well, I'm sorry, you don't have the job." It's like, really, I could really do this stuff. I think I'm the perfect, I'm perfect for this position. Here's why. It's like, yeah, well, you got the job, but I really like the fact that they try to disqualify them. And, the first choice, top one disqualified himself.
That's right.
So you just never know, dude, that if you do not ask. Like, that's what I tell my kid. It's like, you want something, you ask. The worst thing that can happen is somebody says no, Right. And what did he get yesterday? I think he got a little nice Pokemon plushie because, hey, he asked. I'm like, oh,
that's right.
Really cool stuff.
When it comes to your work, when it comes to your individual work, no matter what anybody says, no matter what anybody does, if you let that affect you, then you're in trouble. The only way it should affect you is if you're a pro and you go to do a job, an assignment, and it's not what the client wants. Now you have to negotiate. Maybe you have to back out, whatever. But if you're doing this for yourself, your personal work, you have to stand for something. Because if you don't, you'll fall for anything. Let's go.
There's also just, man, this is going on and on. Just a little, just a little thing. It's you also have to be very careful with that, because it's all about, you have to have confidence in yourself. You have to believe in your work, but you also have to make sure it's good work, and you need to really get into it and learn all the basics and stuff, so that when somebody, for example, challenges you on your image, for example, and say, well, there's no need to defend yourself, first of all, but if you want to, you look at it, it's like, okay, there's this here, which is basically what we're doing in the behind the scenes. We're showing you why these images work, so that you can hopefully do the same thing in your work too. So, let's get into this image here.
One more thing before we.
Oh, you're killing me, man.
That's all I do.
Okay, go ahead.
I had a workshop. It was like 2 or 3 years ago. I had about 12 people in the workshop, and I wanted to break it apart, like 6 and 6. 6 this week, 6 next week, 6 this. But they all, a lot of them knew each other, and from the area said, "Well, you want it all together." Well, there's one guy in there. He's totally obnoxious. I mean, this guy he thinks that he taught Ansel Adams and Edward Weston, and you can't convince him anything. So he's standing there. We're looking, we would meet every Saturday morning, and we're showing prints, and he's standing in there with just uppity attitude, and he's saying how, oh, I don't like this work, I don't like this photograph, I don't like this, and I don't like this, and the guy who did the work stood up and looked him dead in the face. He said, "I love my work." And the other guy's face is like, oh. He says, "Actually, I think your wife is ugly and I don't like her, but I like my wife." And the guy was just like, he didn't know what to say. And that's exactly what it comes down to. It's a matter of taste. But the point is, you have to stand up for yourself, because like Oliver said, no matter who, no matter what, if you let that affect you that much, what does that say about the person who's hammering you? But more important, what does that say about you? There's an old saying, I think it's Jewish. I'm actually Jewish. I mean, not really a good Jewish guy. Don't just get around. It's just called chutzpah. Where's your chutzpah? If you don't have chutzpah, you know what I mean, then what? So I think one of the important things that goes unnoticed with the Inspired Eye, and Oliver and I believe me, we have our bouts with this, with issues like this, because we both care about what we're doing and we both respect each other. So if you look at the issues, there's no Ansel Adams in there, there's no Edward Westons. You know what I mean? There's no Gary Winograns. None of those. We don't want any of those. Well, they're dead anyway, but you could show the work. But we have everyday people in an everyday world doing their work from the heart, doing the best they can. It doesn't matter if you've been photographing for a year or for 40 years. It's all the same. If your heart's there. If it's not, beat it. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
I can't help it. I'm sorry. I can't help it.
Let's get into that cover. Finally, get some light. First of all, like the one thing a cover is supposed to do is actually grab your attention, and this image totally does that. There's like a kaleidoscope of colors, and it's very, very impactful when you just look at it. And
yeah,
I do love the texture. It tells you it's an image, like right then and there when you look at the texture of the bricks and stuff. It's really weird. Look at this. Like I think he's in the middle of it, but look at this. Like it's probably one of the things that triggered this image too. Look at how it's the same color.
Yeah,
here
sure.
And here. Yeah. And I do like the reflections. Well, the painted reflections of the lights. And so it's vertical, and this guy here, vertical. And of course he tried to put him in that spot here too, because there's, like a trail of white here, like in the middle. So great image, great cover image.
One of the things that photography does better than any other media, anything, nothing does it as well as photography. And that is that it translates 2 dimensions. So if you look at you're looking at the bricks and the painting on that, it's really interesting. Now you have this guy and that's, in the essence, it's a 3-dimensional image, the brick, but basically it's 2-dimensional. We have to assume that. And here's this guy that's part of 3 dimensions, and he's compressed into the 2-dimensional to make the photograph, of course, obviously. But a photographer is aware of that they are taking 3 dimensions and pushing it into 2 dimensions. A painter isn't, a filmmaker might be if you're going like Herzog or something, or Fellini. The other ones are like bozos, But as far as photography goes, this is the prime example of what photography does best. It flattens even a 3-dimensional object against a 2-dimensional object. the two-dimensional object stays two-dimensional, but the three-dimensional now is flattened and compressed into two dimensions. It's great. The way it works is just amazing, and you have to know how to see that in order to record it, to make it. You know what I mean?
And also, there's tight framing too. I mean, a little bit, probably looking on top of it, and you'd see, the sky or something.
Yeah.
Let's start with Carolina Trapp. The one thing I like with this image, and it's probably something Russian. It's like they have an obsession with doll-like faces. Yeah. I think that's something Asian too. So
until you marry him. Until you marry him.
I'm not gonna say anything.
I know. I won't either because tiny ears be on dead meat.
there's So I think that's what the photographer wanted there.
Yeah, Carolina really knows what she's doing. She's very highly educated too, but she knows how to apply it into her work. Excellent. Mm-hmm. She's a great eye, man.
This is interesting because look at how she lit up his face. Now, normally, you would go for the eyes, but she purposefully left the eyes dark and actually lighten this area more.
Yeah, the contrast.
Mm-hmm. And it makes it very mysterious, especially with his look going on the right. So it goes on the right, and there's these lines pushing there too. And there's nothing on the right, but there's this leaf, and since your ice is there, there's the guy there.
Yeah, it's the opposite. Right. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Good. Not only that, if you break the frame into an X, you're gonna see the dynamic between this guy here and this guy on the bottom right here. So really, really cool conceptual image and well composed too, in my opinion.
Yep.
Plus, this thing separates them to pull.
That's nice too. Look at that. Whew.
The reflections are awesome. This is knocked out. Yeah. And it's a beautiful light, and it takes a while to understand, but this is not her arm or anything. It's just like a weird mustache thing. And the light is just beautiful on her face going to the left, and the clouds. Now, it's very, very interesting because if you look at it, all the shapes, it's basically like a circle. You look at her face, you got to look at the mustache, the iPhone, and the hands.
If Apple saw this and they didn't use this as an advertisement, they'd be stupid. Like this would sell phones. It's just amazing. No,
it depends if she used the phone for it. That's what they use. They use like a shot with an iPhone or something.
It's a bunch of crap.
They got a whole campaign going on.
Yeah, I know. They did for a while. Still a bunch of crap. Come on, man. Stuff shot with a 4x5 U camera, they call it an iPhone. All you got to do is put the letters iPhone on the camera and then it's shot with an iPhone.
Yeah.
I don't believe them.
This is, on the left, is just crazy, like composition-wise. Look at where she is after these, I guess, manholes.
She's in line. I've never seen them. Manholes, yeah.
Yeah, but it continues, it's almost like a line. It continues here. And she's well placed, and she's looking at the light, which is beautiful on her face. It's really, really well composed image. So what do you have to say about the image on the right?
What can you say, man? That's like, I guess if there's an afterlife, I sure as hell hope it looks like that. You know what I mean? I mean, that's amazing. I mean, the juxtaposition of everything, and then the play on the sense of scale is absolutely amazing. With this kid in the foreground, pulling the panties down or whatever. It doesn't even matter. It just reminds you of my grandfather. And then the guy with the other kid in the front, and then this globe thing shooting the fountain, shooting water out. It's just, man.
That comes back to the 3D, 2D thing, she's smaller, but she looks bigger because she's closer to the camera and smaller. And there's this, like you said, sense of scale because this is now big, you expect something small, but it's bigger. And those, what's called these fountains actually bring you right back at the
Yeah.
image, you know.
Yeah, you have to know the placement, the way the eye travel is there, and the sense of scale. It's just amazing the way she handled that,
And there's also this a line here, you know, going directly at her,
Yeah.
and she's looking here, so you know, some really great dynamic, and not even talking about the triangle that goes here between all the three elements.
But like
Stuff.
emotion, as a parent, emotionally, this is a very profound image because the kids are the monsters and they're the size. I mean, the kids are demanding of attention, and you want to do that. I mean, I love kids. I mean, all of them. Except for the ones, whatever. But I mean, I mean, it's just like this kid in the foreground. It's like the presence is there. You know what I mean? And like the father or whoever that is, like I assume it's the father, he's like serving to the kids, but the kids are like, they got that energy, that presence. You know what I mean? It's excellent. It's a great show. Great show.
I love the same thing you said. It's like you assume it's the father, but you have no idea.
You don't really.
And that's the great thing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Right.
You're going to read it into it, but that's the great thing. You don't know if this is her daughter or anyone, sister, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's like once you make the image, all the information that it's basically out of the window.
Yeah. Now, can I just say something else right here real quick?
Yep.
I would like people to pay attention to that. I'm sure most don't. When you look at photographs in the inspired eye, normally you don't see titles to the photographs. So the reason for that is when you look at the photograph, you're seeing it as its own entity, its own reality, its own existence, and you're sharing it as you look at it. If you put a title in here, "Big Girl with Looking at Father" or whatever the hell you would put in there, totally destroys and controls your entrance into the image. It creates preconceptions. So we don't do titles in there, and this is the perfect example of why.
Mm-hmm. Especially like fountain in, I don't know, St. Paul's, near St. Paul's or something. That also dates and stuff. It's really, and I don't know, like the image on the bottom. I don't even know how you begin to to find something like that. It's really crazy sense of timing and just luck too. Let's face it. That's a lucky shot. I don't know what are the odds of you actually having a shot like that. I mean, I would probably just wait there and, it's like nothing happens, but luck is a good factor too. Let's not downplay that.
Well, the thing is, it may be a found object. Maybe it was found like that. Or maybe she asked this woman, "Could you pose and just do this here?" It doesn't even matter. What matters is the photograph. It doesn't matter how it was made, what camera was made, who made it, whatever. You know what I mean? It's its own entity, and it doesn't need any of that bull crap to go along with it. It's just a great shot. It's a great photograph.
Mm-hmm. And also goes there. Just puts your eyes to the top left, and you can understand why now this is placed here. On the bottom right, as like in the magazine, is because this goes up there and pushes your eye to to this image, which is very moody and very nice, and goes here. It's really interesting.
Oh yeah.
This image just like blew me away because I'm like, dude, I have to admit something. I've been starting to shoot color because I've weirdly enough started responding to it. But this image here looked like a painting, dude. It is like, again, coming back to that 2D, 3D thing you've been talking about.
Yeah.
This image looks so much 2D. It's actually, I thought it was a painting at first. It's striking when you look at it, and especially because whatever here is, you can see the paint strokes. So it's really a beautiful thing. And the big blue parking thing just, comes out of it.
Yep. What camera are you using now for color?
I'm gonna get some hate. I'm actually using a BlackBerry Passport.
No, so what's the difference?
It's
whatever does the job.
No, it doesn't. It's just I hate this camera, but I love it at the same time. I mean, I'm telling you, man, you cannot focus on that thing. But when it makes a nice image, it makes a nice image, and it's a weird phone because it's a square format. So it's like I've been shooting square in what's this called? Square format in color. So it's really good for creativity because, something radically different because I usually do black and white, for, 3.2,
Right. It's an Instagram phone. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's actually it's a prime business phone, but I mean, the 1-to-1 is perfect. Yeah.
The formats are for Instagram, which that's the reason I don't post on Instagram. Is that you have to shoot squares, you have to send squares. I'm not cropping my. No,
you've been out of the game though, because I think for a long time now they've been 3.2. You can do whatever you want because I guess people complain too much about that. So.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, it's been a long time, but I understand because that put me off a long time too. And then one day I told my wife, I'm like, hey, well, how come this is like this? It's like, hey, you can upload this. Even you can upload like 13-second clips or whatever.
I don't like video.
Yeah. So let's go back to her work.
That looks like Cortez. When I saw and putting it together, the guy on the right looks like Andre Cortez, like a lot like Andre Cortez.
Andre Cortez, huh?
Yeah, for the people that don't know what he looked like, that's what he looked like. As an old man, he really does. That's a very good side shot of Andre. It really is, man. See? The thumbs up, baby. It's great with that lady's legs there, a real nice leg, and a thumbs up. It's a real nice photo. Actually, looks like Melania Trump, is what it looks like.
Don't get political on me, dude. Get people home with some hate mail and whatever. You can see the juxtaposition, between the thumb and the lady. Oh, let's go back. The thumb and the lady, but it's also the color. It's the same.
Yeah.
Same color.
And the guy, the person's pants up on the upper right. Mm-hmm. Very similar, yeah.
And the thing too is like this. This color is off, like the blue, but if it was like a white, it wouldn't bring your attention here. Right. So you're looking here, and if you look at it, the shadow, it brings your eye back up here.
Yeah, and that little
blue.
Yeah, mm-hmm. And the shoe on the center right, the blue shoe in the center right. Yeah,
yeah,
that's an irritant.
Yeah, so there's a lot of little details that are really like secondary, like this thing on the back. This here, in his blue, lots of detail to look around per se.
That's a great shot too. They're all really, really good. Yeah.
The thing is, this woman is looking all right, and you're expecting her face here, so the fact that it's removed is just creates really great stuff. And here's again, one of those images where it's like, man, I don't even know. Well, actually, I know. I know how to do this. You just need to be lucky. Like I missed a shot a few days, like a week ago or something. Dude, I swear, this guy looked he had a jacket, right? He looked like a tough dude. He's hanging out with his friends. And you know what was on the jacket, man? It's like young 18-year-old kid or whatever. Yeah. And on the jacket is Viagra. I'm like, oh man. Like I couldn't even do anything because it's like the guy was running down the streets. Like, oh, forget it. But some things, if you are prepared for it, and you can get some really great shots like this.
I don't think it's luck. It has nothing to do with luck whatsoever. I don't buy that. I'm not even. It's not. You know what it is? It's talent and it's skill for seeing the image. So
without a doubt. But dude, let's face it. You understand that you have to be at the exact time in that exact moment. Let's say 6 a.m. 40 seconds at this street to what this person is coming down. You see what I mean? It's you gotta. I completely understand, because if you don't have the talent, you don't see it.
Yeah, but it's a variable. I mean, if there's variables, it's not luck. Okay, luck is if everything just falls in place and you happen to be there. But there's a variable here, and the variable is what makes it skill, not luck. So she's standing. She sees the yellow guy with the bag and says, "Huh, good shot. Something's going to happen." So she's standing there waiting, looking around, right, left, back, forward, and all of a sudden, Mother Light says, "Caroline." Oh, Thomas, right? This is Thomas. Thomas, watch. And then this lady comes, bang, flick the shutter. That's talent and skill, because you're standing there and waiting. You see the photograph before it happened in your head. So it's luck. You would just like walk. I mean, you honestly think you'd walk up and see this guy, like that. No, maybe you do. You know what I mean? But more than likely, you have to wait until the elements come together, and that's one of the aspects about photography that people don't have patience for, is to wait for what they call the decisive moment.
Okay, so you're saying because let's say luck builds up all the way to this moment, but because the shot actually requires the skill, you contend that it's not luck, it's skill, right? Because at the end of the day, it's the skill that closes the box. Is that
right? Yeah, exactly.
Saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's not luck. I mean, if luck is a roll of the dice, luck is, if there was a lucky shot, he would have walked down the sidewalk here and saw this guy with the bag yellow and then the lady and go, oh, click. I don't believe it happened like that. Because look, I've been making photos too long, so I don't believe that, and I don't think it did.
No,
I think he saw the guy, he sees the scene, and he knows the photograph. In his mind, he's saying, "Oh yeah, okay. He's just waiting." I mean, maybe he waited 3 hours. It doesn't matter.
Could be days too.
Doesn't matter. Maybe he came back 40 times. It doesn't matter. This is the end result. It got nothing to do with luck. It's got to do with skill and talent.
Okay. But you agree, like a lot of times it's just luck and it's okay. So, but in this case, because, and I agree, he probably worked the scene for a long time or probably days. Okay. So
I'm not really agreeing with what you said. I will pre-agree. Okay. Like when you pre-order a camera, which I don't know what that means yet. I've done this. I don't know what, but I am pre-agreeing. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because I understand. It's for me, it goes hand in hand. For these shots, probably work the scene, but for me, and let me put luck in quotes, because the more you get out, for example, the more lucky you are. Because there's lots of factors. It's just you're playing the numbers game, I think. But that might be a discussion for another time.
Yeah, anybody that has that kind of luck on a consistent basis, they shouldn't be making photos on the street. They should be in a casino. Okay. But that's where you need luck.
Yeah, but I'm not like belittling his work or anything.
No, I know that. I know that.
Yeah. So, but I agree. It's all about, like, I think you got a roll of the dice, or you got a deck of cards, and up to you and your skills to play with them and play whatever.
That's right.
I don't know. I don't play cards, but you get the point.
Yeah. So we agree to disagree and agree together, okay?
Something like that. I'll have to think about it.
It figures.
But you got to know, Don, I got the cutting power. So if you say something crappy, it cuts you out, dude.
Well, I'm not worried.
A beautiful image, black and white. I mean.
Yeah, it is.
What a lucky shot. I'm just kidding. These patterns is just perfect, and she just waited. If he waited just a little bit more, she would disappear in the black. So that placement. Yeah,
the foot is in the perfect position.
Mm-hmm. Really great dynamic. Because if this was like spinning in the middle here, that wouldn't have that impact.
That's nice. Yeah. There's nothing like that in Philadelphia. Not that there used to be stuff like that up in Germantown, but you can't even go up there anymore. I used to hang out there, but not anymore. When I played the band, Germantown was a place where we had, but there's nothing like that in Philadelphia. There's probably nothing like that anywhere. It's a European thing, where they do cool stuff like this.
And the left is actually, there's more on the left, not on the right, but it's because of just like, if you can imagine like a balance, she is putting the weight on the right.
Yeah.
And so there needs to be more space on the left.
Right.
And if you look at this line here, it's actually the exact same position that this foot is on. Right. So really great stuff.
Yep, good shot.
Something a bit similar with the patterns, man.
Not much you can say right there.
There's a trio of elements in this.
Oh yeah,
lady, the
pigeon
thing.
Yeah.
And here's Christian. What looking at this image, man, it's like it's a very classical image. Like could have been on at any time.
Yeah.
And I'm a sucker for those. You know, have Big Ben, I think here.
Yeah. Christian's a hard worker, man. Real hard worker. He's constantly out there shooting, constantly posted in the group, and all the other groups very supportive. Really a hard worker, man.
Okay. Now, there's something special about this behind the scenes of Inspired Eye. There is the two kids are up, and usually that gets very noisy really quickly. So, just so you know, guys.
Oh, your kids, you mean?
Oh yes, mine.
Oh,
these
yeah.
these
They're
two
fine.
are harmless.
They're fine. Don't silence the kids.
Okay, look at the thing on the left. It's really great because you see it's one of these images that speak of your expectations. You know, you look at a cop, and you know the first thing you see is like somebody that's stern and stuff, and you know he's hanging around with her. It's really great.
Yeah. That's an English thing, or I hate to, not English, sorry, gang. It's a British thing, you know. You do that.
I don't know.
Yeah, if you do that here in Philadelphia, you spend the night in jail, you get close to a cop like that. You can't, you're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, there's different things. Like for example, my French cousin came and it's like, oh, you say hi to the bus driver. I was like, yeah. So you know, it depends on the country too.
Like,
this image is really great. I mean, it's really gritty, and there's this. I mean, there's abs and stuff. You know, it's also it breaks your preconceptions. You know, of an older gentleman, and it's like, here you go. You know, this guy's like pumping iron or something.
Yep. He's looking for them young ladies walking around. That's what he's doing. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I love his placement between these two rectangles here.
Yep.
You know, and here's him. But it's a very busy frame. That's what I like, and still very simple at the same time.
Yeah, yeah.
And here's that original image, so you can see more or less he's a. And there's this thing too in the
pole.
Oh my! Yeah. This is great.
Yeah, Stratocaster. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Left-hand Stratocaster like Hendrix.
And it's great because, you know, it's like there's some energy going on. You know, I travel, of course, because in the image he's looking at her and she's looking at him, and also, you know, more conceptual. You know, you're looking at when you were young, and she's looking at what she might be or not. You know, depending on how you interpret her face.
Well, music transcends age. Music just, you know, and they both realize that now. You know what I mean? Well, he knows anyway. It's cool.
But it's almost as his energy, or like cannot pass that umbrella. It's just like almost like it captures it, you know, the way it folds, and very little subtle details here. You know, it's really interesting.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Again, breaking your presuppositions. You know, you're waiting for a face here, and this kid looking on the bottom. Really interesting how he looks on the bottom, because it actually forces you to look on the bottom, because if not, everything would be on the top. Because if you divide the image on here, you know, it's top and bottom, but he makes you look on the bottom.
Yep. Crazy stuff, man. I like that a lot. That's the kind of, when you talk about luck, if there's ever been like luck in photography, that's it. Because that's a trigger mechanism for me right there. It's a complete trigger for me. And when you see that shadow down there, you know, the reflection, get out of Dodge. You know what I mean? That's luck. It's skill and talent, but that's the definition of luck right there. Mm-hmm.
But, you know, the one thing I might have forgotten to say is like most people are lucky. I mean, you know, you're looking at this screen. That means, you know, you were dealt a hand of cards, but I mean, you do have everything that you need. You know, you probably have a camera. Okay, right. So you can get lucky with the camera, but you know, it's It's okay. I mean, it's okay. It's not like luck makes everything like, and then, you know, any people with a random camera would make it, you know, it's like, that's not the case.
Christian should be he should be a Fuji X shooter, because he got the X100F the same time I got it, and he's been kicking it out on that camera. He's been doing stuff with that camera. It's amazing, man. It's crazy. Great stuff. Okay, we're moving on.
No, I do love to red, but that's why I put, I mean, there was already a circle there, so I'm like, let me put another circle here.
Yeah.
So, the one thing I wanted to, like, this image is stunning, dude. Look at all the arms, you know, just making spikes out of this central subject. It's really amazing. But I wonder if they can spot it with this guy's work. It's the colors, you know, the consistency of this guy is, you know, a lot of people will not see it, but that's why I'm going really quickly with those. It's like he has a very, very consistent look, you know, and that's really something that's really great, because you cannot pull one of his images out of this magazine, you know, because they will look at them. It's like, okay, that's his look that he has. And also he has another, quote unquote, a stylistic thing where, bits and pieces, you know, like, going out, and he likes to populate his image, like his frames a lot, you know, with multiple people and stuff. So like this. So really, what I really struck me with this guy is like the consistency and, kind of the style that he has.
Well, I think that's his syntax. Like, we're all dealing with the same language, you know, the language of photography. We're all dealing with the same elements and the same language. What separates one from the other is syntax. It's the way you use it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And just like, you know, every one of us have a little maybe tick, you know, you keep saying the same thing. Like, my thing is yo. Like, I'm talking to you like yo. You know, I'm talking to you, yo, have you seen this? That's yo, that's me. So you can have also something in the image that's kind of the same thing too. You know, like a yo in a visual form.
Right, that's right.
Like this image here, this excuse me, is really, there's a lot of work that I want to do with this image, the placement of this guy. And very well populated. Now, what I do like is the tension that goes out of the frame. Look at her. She goes out.
Well, you know what you're being attracted to, and same as the guy up on the very top that's looking directly at you with the woman going to the left. You know, what you're really responding to. What he's really, this guy is really hot on the 28 millimeter. He's shooting. I think he's shooting an X70, and he's got that 28 millimeter down pat. You know, I mean, because if you cropped it, just take this image and crop it to any other format, you know, like 35 millimeter, 50, you lost it. I mean, so he really knows how to hold the frame lines you got on the 28. Really got it down. Really got it down. And he does well with that X70. That camera has been criticized about the edges and the corners, you know what I mean? And I just don't believe what people are saying. They're all nonsense. I mean, this is beautiful, man. His stuff is great, man.
What do you mean criticize about? Like, I don't do.
Well, no. What
cameras anymore?
Well, one phone to another then. So what a lot of people are saying about the X70, they compare it to the Ricoh GR2, and you can't do that because GR2 is like the ultimate camera. The X70 is excellent, but it has a bad reputation for corners and edges falling off. You know, like a wide open at 2.8 up to about 5.6. You know what I mean? So they say that it falls apart. I don't know what he shot this at, but you know. Whatever, he's got it down. I mean, he's definitely an ambassador for that X70, man. People watch his work when they want to get that camera. There's no doubt. No doubt.
Are you hating on my phone, dude?
Your phone? Come on. You got to have service.
Dude.
You got to pay for phone service for a camera. Get lost.
No, it's like, you know, it's the, I mean, you know, for some reason, with the kids and stuff. Most likely that's what I have in my pocket, and I use it. So back to what I was saying.
Yeah.
There's some tension on the left and on the right because she's going out, he's going out,
exactly.
And in the middle there's this very well centered man, and with this guy here. So it's really great eye travel.
The color
like
too,
wavy.
The color on the
colors
two edges. Yeah, it's just great what he did there. Yeah.
And one other thing, it really pays to be in a, I guess, crowded city, with for these kinds of images because there's a lot of people there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's another thing. I mean, if you live somewhere that doesn't have a lot of people, I mean, let's face it, it's gonna be harder because you don't have much to work with. But look at all this chaotic thing. And it's really nice because when you have all these people, you can try to simplify the chaos, to try to, and in this case, this guy just made a triangle. I mean, look at this guy on the top here, triangle, triangle. And this girl, on the shirt just pushes you to this lady, and it's all a circle, like a pyramid, which is, triangle, which is probably the strongest shape.
The beauty in the depth of field of this is the fact, and it's an anchor point. Actually, the strongest part of this photograph is not the guy sitting on the top, but the woman in the front in blue. And the reason it's the strongest part is because everything else around and all through the image is sharp and in focus, and she is in front of the depth of field, limit of the camera. That's how close she is, and that creates the drama that she's not in the focus, and her size. It creates a beautiful juxtaposition of eye travel. You just keep going back to her. That's what I'm saying. He's got that camera down, man. I mean, someone should notice that
triangle, and that triangle and it's like you said, because she is bigger. She is in foreground, midground, and all these in the background. So really great depth too.
Oh yeah, and you got three people looking at you. That's what he got.
He's very aware of two things. I think not only trying to populate the whole frame, which is what throws most people off in a 28. I believe is because there is so much to think about because it's so big, it's really wide that it's really hard to populate the whole frame. But he populates it. You can see what the angle he's working so that he can have a very generous frame where there's everything in there, but also very aware of the depth because look at his playing with the depth. This guy here.
It's the perfect introduction to which we won't do now, but we will do in the next thing for the workshop. The perfect thing about using the screen versus eye finders. Because you're not going like with a 28 millimeter on a viewfinder camera, you can't do what he did on the screen because the screen you can move it around and you can see 3-dimension around you, the subject and everything, and life the way you are. But as you move the camera around, back and forward, up and down, left to right, you see the image being formed, and it's the only way. It's the best one, not the only way. It's the best way to work, especially a 28 millimeter lens because there's so much going on.
Yeah, and you can do gymnastics with the camera with the screen. Right. The only camera I know that can do that. Well, it doesn't have a viewfinder, but the GRD. What happens with that is it goes so well in your hands that you can just twist and turn, and you don't even need to see the screen. But because you can twist so much, it actually negates the if you don't have a flip screen.
The GRD4 you're talking about?
Yeah.
That's a camera. I still have mine, Penelope, my little baby. You kids okay there or what?
Yep.
Okay, good.
They always are. They're gonna ask for food really soon.
Yeah, so what? Give them a camera too. Get them a little camera to make pictures with. It's great to see what kids make pictures of.
Oh, let me go back.
I'm serious.
So
I'm not
yellow.
kidding. I did it with my kids when they were little 40 years ago.
You sent it to me.
Yeah,
yellow.
Yeah, I'll send you something. I'm serious.
Ooh. Can I get your Leica M6 black light?
Not for the kids, no. No, you get those little Olympus TG4s. They can drop it in the toilet. They can drop it on the ground. They can take it in the water. Nothing happens to it.
Yeah, good idea. I'll think about it.
I dropped mine in the toilet.
They have those toy versions of like toy cameras, but
yeah.
Beautiful color and very 2D image on the bottom left.
Yep.
Really great stuff.
Oh yeah.
So Nicaragua, this guy is really, if you should check out his work. He is like a classic shooter, man, and he has some really stunning images. This time he went to Nicaragua and he's really kicking it. I think he used I don't know. I think it's a medium format if I'm not mistaken. Not for this though, but
don't matter.
So here, look at this on the left.
Oh yeah.
The bottom, he has his face and it looks like it makes this shape, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Because it's also kind of this shape of the chairs. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's actually the president, apparently, of Nicaragua for 1996. And, I do like the fact that there's this foreground and this guy looking directly at her. So, kind of puts her in a position of importance, even without this guy. It's not a title, but the description of the right. Image. But This is different than the other images because this guy is more documentary type. So
the intent is different. It's different intent. That's all.
Completely different. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a journalist. He's showing you the story, everything with the story. He's actually very good too. I really liked it. I went through it half dozen times.
No, he has, crazy, man, crazy. And documentary intent, you can see he's, for example, he's showing you that these people are very fervent believers, and that's why this isn't like just talking about the layouts. You have guy on the left, guy on the right, and his hand makes this, kind of shows you between the two in the layout. But conceptually, it's showing you people that are fervent believers. This is the carnival, and this guy has. I think it's the original thing that attracted me to his work was actually the portraits, dude. This guy, when he wants, he has some portraits like, oh, dude, like this. It's like, oh, come on, man. Beautiful portraits on the look at that on the left. Beautiful, beautiful.
Like Herzog.
Mm-hmm. And on the right, it's very striking. What the heck? It's like the anti-portrait. Can I say it? Because
what you want?
You look at this. These things. It's usually look at these pointy shapes. It doesn't look nice at all. Like kind of reminds you of like any kind of hellish image.
I think that was the idea. That was the idea. Yeah.
And also, he just puts his thing in his mouth, so it's like, what are you doing? Which is interesting. That's what's interesting with it, like a classical portrait and more of like an anti-portrait. That's not flattering. It's really, really cool. And look at another, the portrait. This is just stunningly amazing to light on the left, and also showing the artist with his work. So you get that he's an artist. Beautiful stuff, man.
Yeah, it's real nice.
Now, Giant is from the Philippines,
right?
And the reason this is here is because there's like a lot of space on here, so that's why we put it there, like his title. Now, some of these images we already actually completely broke them down for you in the Inspired Eye method. So we're just going to talk about a few images here that's not in the course. Like, for example, this one. What do you think of this?
Well, in the first place, it's about the magic of seeing and just the pure love of making photographs and sharing them. And then it's just just the juxtaposition of the size of this crate or box or statue, whatever it is, and then the guy walking into the frame from the left, and then the girls fighting or hold their hands up, stopping this energy from the right going to the left, and then just the whole eye travel. There's poles on the bottom pushing up, and then that black cloud or whatever that is on the top looming over top of everything. It's kind of like an ominous thing, you know what I mean? But it just works excellent. It really works. I mean, it's the kind of thing that I think the majority of people would not have made this photograph, and that's what makes it beautiful, because that's the syntax that each of us has. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very flat, isn't it? Because it's mostly shadows, and goes back to that 3D, 2D thing that you're talking about.
Yeah, that's right.
Because this could be just a cutout on a beautiful gradient thing.
That's right.
I do like the fact that this Omnius thing is actually kind of the same here. So if we look, if there's a line going from the bottom left to the top right, okay, and all of these lines actually mimic that. It's the same as this here. Like, you can't see this of course, but you can understand that it actually parallels this huge line here that goes from the bottom left of the frame to top right. And that's one of the reasons why he framed it like that.
Right.
It's to mimic that very, very strong line.
Right. That's a nice shot. It's real nice.
You're almost going Shaolin on you, those...
Well, I mean...
That's what I see. What do you say?
Well, I mean, he handles kids really, really well. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And not everybody does, but he handles kids really, really well. Nothing exploitive. I'm very cautious about making photos of kids. I don't like doing it. And there's a reason. The reason was my daughter a long time ago told me about posting photos of kids on the internet. But he's handling it completely different. To him, there's the respect of the subject matter, and then there's the beauty of the youth of everything. Like this is, let me tell you something, dude. All right, as much fun as that kid's having at 67, hell no.
Mm-hmm. One thing, Jew, is like the way most of these are. He captures the essence of kids without showing them, because he's basically in the shadows, and because of that could be anyone. That's
right. That's the whole point.
That could be any children. Same thing here.
Yeah, that's the point.
You get it. You get it that they're having fun, but
the shadow is great in that shot too. The shadow is great in that last photo. This is nice too. It's all real. He just knows what he's doing, man. It's just, I love the people that know what they're doing and do it, and they're not being stopped by anybody. No, you can critique all you want, you say anything you want, but they're going to continue working.
Yeah, that's the one you were talking about in the beginning, to stand behind your work, and I think that's the only requirement, is knowing what you're doing. If you don't, you should, as soon as possible, try to figure out what you're doing and know what you're doing, because now you can stand behind it. There's reasons why you're doing things.
That's right.
I mean, I can challenge you on any of your images, Don, and you will tell me, this is why I did it, this is why. Right. And it's like, okay, I got nothing to say.
Yeah.
So you have to know what you're doing.
Yep.
That's the number one thing. And after you know what you're doing, I mean, you can do whatever you want, because you know what you're doing. It's like Picasso. I'm not going to say Picasso anything, because he knows what he's doing, because he knew all of the, like, how to do everything.
That's right.
Now, Renee. Okay, guys, can you quiet, please? Oh man, they're driving me nuts, man.
Let them talk. It's not affecting anything, The people in the audience don't mind.
Yo, I freaking timed it yesterday. Number one talks every 10 seconds.
Oh, really?
I freaking timed. I timed it. I timed it, man. I'm like,
good.
10, 9. No, I need my peace and quiet in my mind.
You have your peace and quiet. Every 8 seconds, you have peace and quiet.
I can't breathe. 8 seconds, like,
and then
it's like I'm introverted, dude. So it's like, oh my gosh, it's great.
You know, it's funny because
What?
my daughter Bethany, she would. I could give her drugs. Just saying, she would never want to go to sleep. Absolutely, no matter what. 2:00 in the morning, she wanted to sit up with me, come down the dark, but she would not want to go to sleep. Very difficult. I used to have to drive around, take her in the car, and drive around the neighborhood until she fell asleep in the car, and then gently carry her into the house. My son Paul, God bless this kid, because we would all be watching TV or something, and when he was tired, when he was little, when he was tired, he would crawl up the steps and climb into bed and go to sleep. And I used to just put my hands together. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. His kids are great, but you got to surrender. You know, seriously, you know, the one thing you have to do with kids over anything is surrender to them. You have to surrender. If you try to put up resistance and fight, you know, it's about you, not about them. You know, you surrender to the kids and they're fine because they're all important. Nothing else is more important.
What other photography magazine would dish photography insights and parenting insights? Oh, dude, this is amazing.
And I know all the guys here. I'm not talking to the women now. I'm talking to all the guys. I know you were all real nice to your wives and mothers last weekend for Mother's Day. And ladies, all the ladies out there, and from all different ages and everything, a couple of weeks is going to be Father's Day. And Stan Tamarkin has a sale on Lycas. Hint, 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 hint.
This is this. Yeah, that'll be nice.
If we're not enjoying ourselves, then what? You know what I mean? We got to enjoy.
Oh man.
Okay.
There's this tension because of those two arrows, and you know, of course, he just puts them right in the middle.
Perfect, man. Yeah, that's beautiful too. I love that shot, man.
Mm-hmm. It looks magical, which is the whole point. Which is the whole point of the image.
Yep. Absolutely, man.
I love this, like the rhythm of this image here, look, from the bottom, tom, 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 you know, and it goes up, and there's this guy going to the light here.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
What's really cool about this is you have no idea where this type comes from, like the writing.
Yeah.
And you can't see it there, so it's almost appearing out of nowhere.
That's right. I love this kind of stuff, and I do it a lot. You know, like, you know, the shadows and the white blown highlights and stuff. That just turned me on.
And look at here, he just put this plaque in the middle. You know, plaque in the middle and divided the frame right and left, and it's very symmetrical. Yeah, which makes it very interesting. And you know, it's kind of a story about the division between this guy and her too. Yeah. So that's one of the occasions where, you know, you're looking, well, knowing what you're doing, basically. Again, going back to that, it's dividing the frame in the middle, but dividing it also meaning that they're walking in different paths. You know, probably splitting because the roads are probably split there.
Okay.
You know, my thing, like, I have something for skies. So, you know, what's in the sky? There's also birds. And I've been trying to find those birds since years, and I don't know where to find birds like this, you know, to get shots like this. But I mean, it's always good to see these images, you know, say, oh, this is what's possible. This is what that could be. And finding it is a whole other problem, huh? Okay, so let's go for Hano de Boer.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting here? It's actually, well, it's a language, because ni hao means hi in Chinese, but it's not written in Chinese. It's like you know, normal Western alphabet, but it also places him somewhere, you know, that is Asian. So I actually like that. It's a very subtle way to dish information, I think, with this tag here.
The thing for me is that the cover shot for each person, I kind of blow off of it because it's us and him and the photo together. I mean, if you take away the Hano de Boer, then you see his photograph. But, you know, so, you know, you understand what I'm saying? It's not, you're not really seeing what, you know, the actual photograph. So let's just skip past those and get into the meat of things. Mm-hmm. It's interference. It creates interference.
No, absolutely. But it's, I mean, you can't do much about that. It's, it's 50-50 between.
Look at that. That's awesome. Get out of Dodge. It's awesome, man. Woo, I love that. That's just great.
Yep, good sense of timing and
really good printer, man. He knows exactly how to print, man. I love people who really know how to print. He's got that timing thing. See up there too on the shot on the right. He's got that timing, and the shot on the left too. I mean, he's got a very good sense of timing, man.
Mm-hmm. And I do like that he cuts away your face because that's the first thing that you're gonna look at.
Yeah.
Wonderful, beautiful colors.
Oh yeah.
And look at these little details. It just brings you here all the way. Because if this wasn't there, this would just be like basically flat. But there's some action going on there.
Oh, the irritant. That's an irritant. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Yeah. Wonderful. And there's also little details because of
the textures. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But see, this is just like the other ones. But this guy's flare, man. It's really something. It's almost like going, blowing out the highlights almost, almost like dreamy kind of. So that's what really gets me with this image here.
You know what I find very interesting about his work. I know people say it had nothing to do with the gear, but it damn sure does. You know what I mean? So there's a very loose feeling to his work, very loose. I don't mean it in a bad way. I mean a real good way. Like he's loose, whatever. He's just like whoa, move and bang. But he's working on a big Nikon 3300, which is not known as a street camera, and because it's a professional camera. You know what I mean? So so if you take that and you put it against the work, it really shows the comfort that he has. You know what I mean? The comfort that he has with his gear. I think that's.
I wouldn't be, man, having that thing around. Right. It's like I would actually start shooting maybe straight portraits or something, because I'm so used to it, to work. Right. It's
or static.
It's really interesting. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like you would never. I mean, we don't really push it, but we push the GRD to X100s because we use them and we know they're good.
Yeah.
But here's this guy using a normal Nikon. Everybody has it, and showing you great work with it.
Oh, absolutely.
And this is my stunning image by this guy. Look at all this action going on there, and the light on this guy's face and is determined. He's really determined. It's just amazing. And look at his placement in the frame. Like you can almost like cut it there. Yeah. And you have this guy.
I don't get light like that in Philadelphia. It's just
you don't.
No. Maybe once in a while and once in a blue moon. It's too, we don't have it. There's too many high rises and buildings.
Yeah.
It blocks the light.
Rises,
Yeah, absolutely
understand. Yeah, the high rises. I mean, I went to New York and I was waiting for light. And I was like, where is it? I was like, oh, shucks. The high rise is just. Look at this on the left. Repeated elements, with the hands, but very moody.
Oh, yeah, it's great. Great stuff.
Out of focus, really great stuff. Yeah.
Extremely marketable. That is just. When I saw this, when he sent me the stuff, it took me a while to get past this. I just kept looking at it like, whoa, man, I can't believe this image. It's like it's just like an etching almost. It's not. It transcends the preconceptions you have about photography, man. It's just amazing.
Now everything needs to be sharp and and this very emotional. I mean, you can guess the guy's in trouble. Like you can see his here around his face. It's all wrinkly and stuff. So he's doing something, probably crying or something. So, and, it's white, it's dark, it's white, and, it's very, very great image.
And then the little man down, go back. Then the little man,
pushing at him.
Just looking at him like, what did you do? What did you do?
Mm-hmm.
How can you get your potatoes? What you can't, what Pink Floyd? If you don't eat your meat, you don't get your taters.
It's almost knocking him.
It is exactly. It's like that's the subconscious inside. That's pounding on. You know what I mean?
And there's these like 1, 2, 3 things, and here's this guy, but it's like the 1, 2, almost like circling him. All this crap.
Yep.
And also the whole image is very hazy.
Yeah, etched.
Really
It's
wonderful.
etched.
Yeah, really wonderfully processed.
It's just beautiful.
And yeah,
It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. They're all beautiful, but that one especially got to me.
beautiful legs thing. You know, again,
Game,
you know, it's one of those things, you know, might be cliche, women's legs of just looking at, or men's legs or whatever, but you know, once you see it, it's like, okay, there's still thousands of things that can be done with it.
Yeah.
And it's just an idea. When you're looking at these images, you're just looking at ideas,
Right.
stuff that you can use for yourself. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's it. We actually have reached the end. It's probably one of the longest behind the scenes we've done. Probably the noisiest too. Sorry for the kids.
Okay, relax.
You want to say hi?
Hi.
Okay. Say hi, popular. Say hi, Inspired Eye readers.
Hi, is that right ears?
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Daddy gonna buy you a Leica M9 or maybe a Leica M10.
Yeah, we'll see about that, man.
Yeah, I'll
He's
see.
nice. All right, guys. Have a good one. Take care.
All right, take care. See you next time. Bye.